The Christmas tree stood tall in the corner of the living room, decorated with silver and gold ornaments that caught the light. Outside the windows, snow was beginning to fall on the quiet suburban neighborhood. Inside, the annual Christmas party was in full swing. Lauren sat at the dining table, her hands trembling as she held a pen over the papers in front of her. She wore a simple denim jacket over a white shirt, her blonde hair falling forward to hide her face. Her eyes were red from crying, though she tried to keep her composure. Beside her sat David, 35 years old, wearing a navy blue suit. His dark hair was styled neatly, his jaw tight with tension. Behind them stood Vanessa in a stunning red dress, her hand possessively on David's shoulder. Her smile was radiant, victorious. The room full of family members watched in uncomfortable silence. David's parents stood near the Christmas tree, their faces lined with concern. His mother wore a burgundy dress, his father a blue shirt. David's aunt and uncle stood nearby in their holiday finest, uncertain whether to intervene. His grandmother sat on the couch in her silver sequined top, dabbing at her eyes with a handkerchief. "Just sign it, Lauren," Vanessa said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "Let's not drag this out any longer than necessary." Lauren's hand hovered over the papers. 5 years of marriage, ending with a signature at a Christmas party. It felt surreal, cruel, but what choice did she have? 6 months ago she had caught David and Vanessa together. Vanessa was his co-worker, someone Lauren had welcomed into their home for dinners and game nights, someone she had trusted. The betrayal had shattered her. David had moved out immediately, claiming he had fallen in love with Vanessa, that what he and Lauren had was over, that they wanted different things in life. Lauren had spent months in a fog of grief and anger, but she had also spent those months remembering who she was before David, before she had made herself smaller to fit into his world. "Lauren, please," David said quietly. "My family is here. Can we just finish this?" His mother stepped forward. "David, this is wrong. This is your wife. How can you do this on Christmas?" "Stay out of it, Mom," David snapped. "Lauren and I have already discussed this. It's mutual." It was not mutual. Not really. Lauren had agreed to the divorce because she could not stay married to a man who loved someone else. But mutual implied they both wanted it, and Lauren had wanted to keep her vows, her home, her life. She looked up at the family she had grown to love. David's parents, who had treated her like a daughter, his grandmother who taught her to bake pies and shared stories of the old days, his aunt and uncle who always asked about her work and dreams. They all looked heartbroken, for her, for what was being lost. "I'm sorry," Lauren whispered to them. "I'm so sorry." David's mother came over and hugged her. "You have nothing to apologize for, sweetheart. Nothing at all." Vanessa cleared her throat impatiently. "Can we please focus? Some of us have plans tonight." Lauren took a deep breath. She signed the first page, then the second, then the third. Each signature felt like cutting away a piece of her heart. When she finished, she set down the pen and stood up. She looked at David one last time, the man she had loved since they were both 25, the man she had supported through his master's degree, working 2 jobs so he could focus on school, the man who had promised to love her in sickness and health. "I hope you're happy," she said quietly. "I really do." Then she turned to his family. "Thank you for everything. You were the best part of this marriage." She walked to the door, grabbed her coat, and left. The cold air hit her face and she finally let the tears flow freely. She walked down the street, not sure where she was going, just needing to move, to breathe, to survive this moment. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Miss Lauren, this is Robert Chen, your grandfather's attorney. Please call me immediately. It's urgent regarding your inheritance." Lauren stared at the message. Her grandfather. She had not thought about him in years. He had been estranged from the family when Lauren was young. Some old argument with her father that was never fully explained. She had met him only once, when she was 10 years old. He had been kind but distant, giving her a silver locket before disappearing from her life. He had passed away 6 months ago, around the same time her marriage fell apart. She had been too consumed by her pain to attend the funeral or deal with any legal matters. With shaking fingers, she called the number. "Miss Lauren," the attorney said, "I've been trying to reach you for months. Your grandfather left you his entire estate. I understand the timing is difficult, but we need to finalize the paperwork. Can you come to my office tomorrow?" I don't understand, Lauren said. My grandfather and my family weren't close. Why would he leave me anything? He left very specific instructions, Mr. Chen said gently. He said you were the only one who looked at him with kindness that day you met, the only one who didn't judge him. He followed your life from a distance. He was very proud of you. The next morning, Lauren S. sat in the attorney's office, still in shock. Her grandfather had been Henry Morrison, founder of Morrison Industries, a manufacturing empire worth billions, and he had left it all to her. He made his fortune after the family split, Mr. Chen explained. He wanted you to have it because he said you had a good heart. He left letters for you, explaining everything. Lauren read the letters through tears. Her grandfather wrote about regret, about missing out on family, about watching her grow up from afar, about how he saw she had married young, worked hard, supported her husband, about how he worried she had lost herself in the process. I'm leaving you this fortune not to buy your happiness, he wrote, but to give you the freedom to discover who you are meant to be. Use it wisely, use it kindly, use it to build the life you want, not the life someone else wants for you. 3 days after Christmas, David knocked on the door of Lauren's new apartment. She had not told him where she was staying. He must have gotten it from his mother. When Lauren opened the door, she barely recognized him. He looked haggard, desperate. Lauren, please, we need to talk. About what, David? We're divorced. I made a mistake, he said, his voice cracking. A terrible mistake. Vanessa, we're not what? She left me, he admitted, 2 days after the divorce was finalized. She said she had gotten what she wanted. I don't even know what that means. But Lauren, I realize now that I threw away the best thing in my life. Can we try again, please? Lauren looked at him. This man she had loved so deeply. This man who had broken her heart in front of his family on Christmas. No, she said simply. But Lauren, you made your choice, David. You chose her. You humiliated me. You threw away 5 years like they meant nothing. I was confused. I was stupid. You were cruel, Lauren said firmly, and I deserve better than that. I deserve someone who chooses me every single day, not just when their backup plan falls through. Please, I love you. You love the idea of me, Lauren corrected. You love having someone who supports you and asks for nothing in return. But that's not love. That's convenience. She started to close the door. Wait, David said. Someone told me about your inheritance, about your grandfather. Lauren, that doesn't matter to me. I don't care about the money. Lauren smiled sadly. The fact that you brought it up tells me that you do care. Goodbye, David. She closed the door and locked it. Through the wood, she heard him calling her name, pleading, but she did not open it again. 6 months later, Lauren stood in the community center she had just opened. It was dedicated to helping people rebuild their lives after divorce, offering free counseling, job training, legal support, and childcare. David's mother was there, and his grandmother. They had stayed in touch with Lauren, apologizing repeatedly for their son's behavior. You didn't have to do this, his mother said, gesturing at the beautiful facility. You didn't have to include us. You were always kind to me, Lauren said. You treated me like family even when your son didn't. That matters. David's grandmother hugged her. You're going to do so much good here, sweetheart. Your grandfather would be proud. Lauren thought about the journey. From that horrible Christmas night, signing divorce papers through tears, to this moment, using her unexpected inheritance to help others. She had learned that sometimes the worst moments of our lives are actually doorways. Painful, unwanted doorways. But doorways nonetheless, leading us to places we never would have found otherwise. She had learned that her worth was not determined by whether someone chose to love her, that she was valuable, capable, and strong, A.L.L. on her own. She had learned that family is not always blood, and that kindness, even to a distant grandfather she barely knew, can come back to you in ways you never imagine. Most importantly, she had learned that endings are also beginnings, and that signing those papers, as painful as it was, had been the signature that freed her, to become who she was always meant to be. If this story of resilience and new beginnings touched your heart, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment telling us about a time when an ending led you to a better beginning. Your stories remind us all that we're stronger than we know. Thank you for listening.